You've been trying to talk yourself back into a life that your soul has quietly outgrown, and it's exhausting, isn't it? Not the loud kind of exhaustion that comes from doing too much in a day, but the deeper kind. The kind that settles into your bones when you keep saying yes, while something inside you is whispering no. The kind that shows up as irritability you don't recognize, as tears that come out of nowhere, as a sudden craving for silence, as a strange sense that you're living beside your own life instead of inside it. If you've been feeling that, you're not imagining it, you're not being dramatic, you're not too sensitive, you're responding to misalignment, and misalignment is heavy, and you've been carrying it for a while. Maybe you've been carrying a role that once gave you purpose, but now feels like a costume. Maybe you've been carrying a relationship that looks stable, yet your heart feels lonely inside it. Maybe you've been carrying habits that numb you just enough to get through the day, and then leave you emptier at night. Maybe you've been carrying an identity, the reliable one, the strong one, the one who holds it together, while your inner world is begging for honesty. Notice what happens in your body as you hear those possibilities. Do your shoulders tighten? Does your chest soften? Does your breath get a little shallow or a little deeper? Your body already recognizes the truth, even when the mind wants a debate. Because the mind is loyal to what it knows. The mind says, be grateful. The mind says, don't rock the boat. The mind says, you can make it work, and sometimes it can, for a while. But the soul doesn't negotiate with what's complete. The soul doesn't keep living in a room that has no air just because it's familiar furniture. The soul will start moving the energy first, through fatigue, through restlessness, through a quiet sadness, until you finally listen. And here is something important to hear. You are not failing at life. Life is asking you to level up. What no longer serves your higher purpose doesn't always arrive as something obviously bad. Sometimes it's something good, something that once fit perfectly, something that helped you survive, helped you belong, helped you succeed. And then one day, it simply doesn't fit your spirit anymore. The first sign is often not pain, it's numbness. You might notice that what used to light you up doesn't touch you the same way. You might notice you're going through the motions, smiling at the right moments, saying the right words, and yet there's a blank space inside. Or you might notice a low-grade resentment, not because you're ungrateful, but because you keep abandoning yourself to keep everything else steady. If you've been feeling guilty for wanting more, for wanting different, for wanting true, let that guilt loosen its grip. Guilt is often just an old loyalty in a new disguise. It's the voice of who you had to be loved, to be safe, to be accepted. And yes, that version of you worked hard. That version of you did what was needed. That version of you deserves tenderness, not criticism. But you are allowed to evolve. There's a quiet difference between being loyal and being stuck. Loyalty has love in it. Being stuck has fear in it. Loyalty says, this matters. Being stuck says it's scary to imagine letting go. So let's bring this into the light, gently, clearly, without judgment. What if letting go isn't a single moment of bravery, but 1,000 small moments of honesty with yourself? Because release doesn't have to be dramatic. It doesn't have to be a door slam. It can be a slow exhale. It can be the soft loosening of fingers that have been gripping too tight for too long. It can be a quiet decision to stop performing an old life. You may have been taught that letting go means losing, that if something is released, it means failure, that if the mind changes, it means being wrong, that if you step away, it means being selfish. But what if release is actually devotion, devotion to what's real? What if release is how you honor your own becoming? If you've been trying to figure it out logically and it keeps looping, it's because this isn't a mind problem. This is an alignment problem, and alignment is felt. Here's one way to know. What no longer serves your higher purpose will begin to cost you your energy, not in a dramatic crash, but in a steady drain. You'll notice you need more recovery time after certain conversations. You'll notice you procrastinate on things you used to handle easily. You'll notice your body bracing, jaw tight, stomach clenched, before you even walk into certain spaces. That bracing is information. And sometimes the hardest part is that nothing is wrong enough to justify leaving. It's not abusive. It's not catastrophic. It's just not true anymore. You don't need a catastrophe to honor your truth. You don't need permission from pain to choose alignment. Let that settle. Now, there's something else most people don't talk about. Even when you know what's complete, letting go can feel terrifying. Not because you're weak, because your nervous system is doing its job. Your nervous system doesn't cling because you lack faith. Your nervous system clings because familiarity once meant safety. If you grew up in environments where love was conditional, where peace depended on you being easy, where approval depended on performance, then your system learned a pattern. Stay predictable, stay connected. Even if predictability hurts, it feels safer than the unknown. So when the soul says, release, the body might say, danger. This is why two truths can exist at once. One part of you knows you're ready, another part of you panics. One part of you sees the doorway, another part of you clings to the room. Both parts deserve compassion, and you can work with both. Try this right now. Soften your belly just a little. Let your tongue rest in your mouth. Let your breath drop lower, and ask quietly, where have you been forcing yourself to stay out of fear? You may notice an image, a person, a place, a routine, a role, a promise made to an older version of you. Don't argue with what arises, just notice. This isn't a trial, it's a homecoming. There's a difference between discomfort that's stretching you and discomfort that's shrinking you. Stretching discomfort has aliveness. Even when it's hard, there's breath in it. There's growth. There's a sense of expansion underneath the fear, like stepping onto a new path, shaky but true. Shrinking discomfort feels like your spirit folding inward. You feel smaller, You feel quieter in the wrong way. You feel less like yourself. You start editing your truth before it even reaches your lips. You start abandoning your needs to keep the peace. You start living in a constant low-grade tension. Your body knows which one is which. So instead of asking, is this good or bad, try asking, does this make me more myself or less? And yes, more yourself. That's the measure. Higher purpose isn't only about what you do in the world. Higher purpose is also about who you are being while you do it. It's about integrity. It's about congruence. It's about living in a way that doesn't require you to leave yourself behind. What no longer serves your higher purpose often falls into a few tender categories. Sometimes it's a relationship dynamic, not necessarily the person, the dynamic, the version of you that shows up with them, the way you keep shrinking, people-pleasing, explaining, proving, tolerating, the way you keep hoping they will finally see you without you having to audition for love. Sometimes it's an identity, the helper, the achiever, the peacekeeper, the one who never needs anything, the one who can handle everything. That identity may have protected you, and it may also be choking your softness, your joy, your rest. Sometimes it's a belief. Love has to be earned. Worth requires productivity. Disappointing people is unsafe. Choosing yourself leads to abandonment. These beliefs can feel like facts, but they are often old agreements, signed in childhood, renewed in silence. Sometimes it's a habit of numbing, overworking, over-scrolling, over-drinking, overthinking, over-fixing. Anything that keeps you from feeling the truth you already know. And sometimes, this is so important, what no longer serves your higher purpose is the way you speak to yourself. The inner voice that measures, criticizes, rushes, shames. The voice that says, you're behind. The voice that says, you're too much. The voice that says, you should have figured this out by now. That voice is not your truth. It's a conditioning. You can release that too. If this resonates, here is a gentle practice that brings clarity without forcing answers. Place one hand on your chest, one on your lower belly. Feel the warmth of your own presence and say, silently or out loud, what is life asking to stop carrying? Then pause and listen. You might feel a tightening when you think of one thing. You might feel a soft relief when you think of another. You might feel both. Let the body speak in sensations, not sentences. Now ask, what would open up if this were released? This question changes everything, because the soul doesn't only want you to let go. The soul wants you to receive more truth, more peace, more creativity, more intimacy, more rest, more alignment. And the mind may immediately jump to logistics, money, time, other people's reactions. That's okay. The mind is trying to protect you. Let it have its concerns, and don't let it run the whole meeting. Here's another truth. Release is rarely about removing something with force. Release is about removing your attachment to what's no longer true. You can still love someone and stop abandoning yourself for them. You can still respect a job and stop pretending it's your destiny. You can still honor your past and stop living there. When you release with love, you don't have to make anyone wrong. You simply stop making yourself smaller to keep the peace. And if you've been the one who always understands, the one who always forgives, the one who always adapts, it can feel shocking to choose yourself. It can feel like you're becoming cold. You're not. You're becoming honest. There's a kind of kindness that erases you, and there's a kind of kindness that includes you. Your higher purpose will always guide you toward the second. If you've been feeling relationships shifting, friendships fading, old circles feeling strange, it's because your frequency is changing and misalignment becomes intolerable. You cannot unfeel what you now feel. You cannot unknow what you now know. That can be lonely and sacred. Because solitude is often the hallway between who you were and who you are becoming. A threshold, a pause, a quiet space where your soul rearranges the furniture. Let yourself be there without panic. In that hallway, you can practice a new way of living, one gentle choice at a time. Start with the truth in tiny doses, not the truth that explodes, the truth that breathes. That doesn't work for me. More time is needed. Not available for that. Still deciding. Not sure yet. These are holy sentences. Then stop negotiating with your own fatigue. If something consistently drains you, that is data. You don't have to shame yourself for being tired. You can honor what your body and your support systems guide you toward and still choose alignment. Bless the old without dragging it forward. The past can be honored without being repeated. You can whisper, "Thank you for what was given," and it can be released. And choose one boundary that protects your peace. Not 10, 1. A small, loving fence around the tender new growth inside you. As you consider these, notice your breath again. Let it lengthen, just a little, because your body needs to feel safe to release. Safety is not only external. Safety is the way you speak to yourself. Safety is the pace you allow. Safety is the gentleness you bring to your own becoming. And now, let's talk about the fear that rises when you begin to loosen your grip. Fear often says, "What if there's regret?" But regret usually comes from leaving yourself, not from choosing yourself. Fear says, "What if someone gets hurt?" But you are not responsible for other people's comfort with your truth. You can be kind, you can be respectful, and you can still be free. Fear says, "What if loneliness comes?" And yes, certain relationships may fall away when you stop performing, but what remains becomes real. And what arrives meets the real you, not the edited version. Fear says, "What if purpose isn't clear yet?" Purpose is not always a grand mission. Sometimes purpose is the next aligned step. Purpose is the next truthful decision. Purpose is choosing what nourishes your spirit again and again until your life becomes a home. A home, not a stage. If you've been living like you're always being evaluated by family, by culture, by your own inner critic, your soul is asking you to come back to yourself. You might notice in the coming days a gentle intolerance for what used to be fine. You might feel less willing to over-explain. You might feel more protective of your mornings, your evenings, your energy. You might even feel a strange grief, because letting go can feel like saying goodbye to a version of you who tried so hard. Let that grief be here. Grief is love with nowhere to go, and you can give it somewhere to go. You can place that love back into your own heart. Try speaking to yourself the way you would speak to someone you adore. You've been carrying this. You did your best. You are allowed to change. You are safe to grow. You are worthy of a life that feels true. Let those words land slowly. And if you need a simple touchstone phrase to return to when the mind spirals, let it be this: your life is allowed to fit you. Your life is allowed to fit who you are now. Not who you were 10 years ago, not who people expect you to be, not who you had to become to survive. Your life is allowed to fit you. Feel the softness in that. Now imagine for a moment that the thing you're releasing is a heavy bag you've been carrying up a long hill. You've been telling yourself, this can be handled, and it can, but at what cost? Your hands are sore, your shoulders ache, your breath is shallow, you've been brave, and you've been boelgedend. What if you set the bag down, just for today? Not forever, not dramatically, just down. And notice what happens when your body isn't bracing under the weight. Notice the space in your chest. Notice the quiet relief in your belly. Notice how the world looks different when you're not straining. This is what alignment feels like. More breath, more space, more self. Release is not rejection. Release is recognition. Recognition that you are growing. Recognition that your standards have changed. Recognition that your spirit wants to live in truth. And here is the deeper reason this matters. When you keep carrying what isn't yours anymore, you block the flow of what is. Your higher purpose is not punishing you, it's guiding you. It's guiding you away from what drains you and toward what nourishes you. So if your life has been shaking, shifting, rearranging, take a breath. This isn't chaos for no reason. This is recalibration, and you can cooperate with it gently. One truthful conversation, one courageous no. One day of choosing rest, one boundary that honors your energy, one moment of listening to your body instead of overriding it. That's how a life changes, not in a thunderclap, in a series of sacred choices. And if you're afraid that releasing something means losing part of yourself, remember this: the only thing you lose is what was never aligned. what you gain is you, the real you, the one who doesn't have to earn love, the one who doesn't have to prove worth, the one who doesn't have to stay small to stay safe. As you move forward, you may notice that your intuition gets louder, not as a voice, but as a feeling of yes and no that becomes clearer. Trust that. Your heart already knows this. It's been trying to bring you home. And when doubt shows up, because it will sometimes, you can return to the body, return to the breath, return to the simple question, does this make me more myself or less? Let that be your compass. Because your higher purpose is not a destination in the distance. It's the truth you choose in this moment. It's the way you honor your energy. It's the way you speak to yourself. It's the way you stop abandoning your own heart. You are not here to live a life that only looks good from the outside. You are here to live a life that feels like peace on the inside. And you can begin now with one small release. Maybe it's releasing the need to explain. Maybe it's releasing the habit of pushing through. Maybe it's releasing the belief that love requires self-sacrifice. Maybe it's releasing the identity that says you must hold it all. Whatever it is, you can set it down and breathe. You can bless what brought you here and still choose what's next. You can love your past and still leave it behind. Your life is allowed to fit you. And somewhere deep inside, you've always known it's time